screen and take it away.
Great. Thank you so much for that introduction. Let me share my screen. Alrighty. So as Lee said, my presentation is called Building Habitat and Community Capacity for Mosquito Control in Central Montana. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about an ongoing project I have with the rural community of Fort Benton. And before I get into that, I'll tell you a little bit about Fort Benton, of course. So it's located in Choteau County, which is the county that's highlighted there on the map. So it is the oldest continuously living non-native settlement here in Montana. They're very proud of that fact. And if you spent any time in Fort Benton during the summer seasons, you'll know that it is a hotspot for mosquito activity. And a lot of that is due just to the natural ecology and geology of the area. In the left, I have a photo of the Missouri River. That river runs through the heart of Fort Benton. This photo is actually taken near the Missouri River Breaks, which is more northeast of town. But as you can see, it's a big river. I can tell you it's slow. It's about class 1 rapids, and it is very nutrient dense. So it's just a hot spot for mosquito activity. And even Lewis and Clark passed through the future site of Fort Benton several times, and they remarked in their diaries that on like their experience with mosquitoes and how much, like how kind of big it was. So it's definitely something that's natural to the area, and something that we can't really change like altogether, but there are new kind of methods to kind of help combat the levels of mosquitoes that we're trying to use in this project. And then to the right, we have a photo of the Choteau County Library. It's a beautiful building. It's a Carnegie Library, so it was built as part of that endowment. And I've just been very fortunate to have them as a partner on this project. So getting to talk about the project. So the more of the public-facing title is Mosquitoes, Bats, and You. And this project aims to reduce mosquito population through education and promoting native bat habitat in Fort Benton. The main intervention is May 13th, next Saturday, and it's going to be an interactive event where people of all ages will be invited to the library to put the finishing touches on a free bat box, and then learn about ways to modify their home environment to deter mosquitoes using non-chemical based methods. I can tell you now the town's primary method is chemical based. They use something called endulticides, which is a pesticide that's specific for mosquitoes in the flying stage of their life. And it's applied using an ultra low concentrated fog. And it's used during the evening times when mosquitoes are most active, and other species like, bees and butterflies are less so. But that being said, it will basically kill any flying insect that's in the air. It is a lot better than previous versions of insecticides, but there's still some negative impacts on non-target species. It does still get into the water system, and there's impacts on fish and frog species, other aquatic species. And frankly, the town doesn't really like it. I mean, it's hot, you have all your windows open, you're trying to air out the house, and then you have a truck come by that's fogging pesticides, and they're not given a lot of warning, and they're kind of looking for alternatives. So we're kind of using that as a jumping off point for this project. I have my competencies right there. I won't go over them just in terms of time, but I will talk to you guys about my products. So the products that I'm using for the APE submission is one, it's a community survey measuring the public's thoughts, beliefs, and opinions on the subject. It's 16 questions using a Likert scale, and then has 7 write-ins. And that survey has been very helpful for creating my next products, which are educational flyers for mosquito control and fostering bat habitat. So as first I asked the community, how did you feel about this subject? What are you guys currently doing? And then use that information to kind of tailor that those educational flyers, which I'll then use at the May 13th event. So for this project, I am using a One Health framework, which you all have probably heard of before, but it is a unifying and multidisciplinary approach to public health, which recognizes that the well-being of animals, humans, and the environment are all interrelated and interdependent. Fundamentals of the framework are to apply system-level thinking and promote collaboration to improve wildlife health and study its effects on the emergence and control of disease in humans. So on the animal health side, we have bats. In particular for this project, we're focusing on the little brown bat. It's a native microbat in Montana. I like to say that they fit about in the palm of your hand. And since they're a small bat, they're more likely to predate on small insects such as mosquitoes, and they are more likely to use bat boxes. So we're both promoting bat box as a habitat and then kind of giving people education on other ways to make the environment around their homes more bat friendly. And then for the environmental health side, we are providing education on alternatives to using insecticides. Some things that people already know about, like dumping water during mosquito season, but there's some other things that I think the general public didn't know just based off of the surveys. And so I'm hoping that that kind of education can help there. And then of course, this overlaps with human health. We hope that these methods will still protect people from mosquito-borne vectors such as West Nile, which has been found in Montana. But then we're also hoping to create a more resilient, connected community that is more educated on their natural environment. So some of my completed project milestones. October, I received a grant from the Rocky Mountain Public Health Training Center. That helped kickstart the project and was very helpful. I would not have been able to do this project without that seed money. In November, I was introduced to Emily Wicks. She's my AP site mentor and director of Chouteau County Library. I mean, she has been extremely helpful on this project. I mean, of course, with helping with on the ground marketing, but really just being a community advisor and helping me decide what dates and times worked best. And it's just been a very helpful partnership. On April 4th, I gave a presentation at the Conflux Public Health Alliance Conference in Billings, and that was very helpful to help define my pitch when it came to the project. April 14th, I received IRB approval. That should really be a giant exclamation point because that was a very big milestone for this project, getting that in time before I did anything else so that I can make sure that this is approved and I can use it for future research. April 22nd, we held a community meeting at the library, of course, to unveil the project and included a presentation, snacks, and Q&A. And so for that, here's a few photos of me at that event. I think the turnout was pretty successful. I mean, there's about 1,400 people in the area. We had 18 adults and 9 children attended the event. We actually had one family that was 3 generations that were there. That was pretty neat. I gave a 30-minute presentation and then stayed after, and we had about 45 minutes of questions and answers. And we had the surprise of having the Great Falls news station cover the event. We've had a lot of good interest from the news. That's been very helpful for generating some buzz. To date, this project has been featured in 4 newspapers and on 2 local news stations. So upcoming next steps. So before May 13th, the Community Mosquito Control Survey is still open to the public, and I'm reviewing those results ad hoc. I'm gathering educational materials ranging from information on bats, mosquitoes, rabies, and West Nile. Building at least 25 prefabricated boxes and getting other materials ready. We already have 20 done, and we have enough materials for another 10. So we're definitely going to hit that goal. And then on the day of the event, May 13th, we're going to host it at the library. And then we'll have a bat building demonstration. The public will be able to paint a box and add installation hardware. There'll be a coloring station for the younger kiddos, a small prize raffle, and all the prizes are related to mosquito control. And then there'll be an educational booth. And then future steps, I hope to prepare a manuscript as part of my ILE, and contribute to the, have it published and contribute to the field of knowledge. I will do a more thorough analysis of the survey's qualitative and quantitative data. And then I'm going to work with a local GIS professional to map the locations of each box for a follow-up study. He actually attended the community meeting on April 22nd and just kind of offered his help and support for the project. So that was really interesting. And then that brings me to the end. I want to give a special thank you to Emily Wicks, Lee, Blakely, and Kelly. You guys are all so supportive throughout this process. I really couldn't have done it without any of you guys. And just really thank you. And I look forward to the questions at the end of the next presentation.
Great. Thanks, Allie. That's such a cool project. Okay. Moving to our next presentation.